What it do, everybody? It's your boy King Crowder back again with another edition of History You May Not Know and Things That Are Not Taught in Detail for Show. Today's lesson is about the great Dr. Edward Alexander Boucher. Dr. Boucher was an American physician and an educator. He was the first Black American to ever earn his PhD from any American university, completing his dissertation in physics. The brother was a genius at Yale University in 1876. On his base of academic record, he was elected to Phi Beta Society in 1874. He became the first Black American to graduate from Yale's college. Although Dr. Boucher was elected to Phi Beta members of Yale in 1874, the official induction did not take place until 1884, when Yale chapter recognized 13 years of inactivity. That's truly sad. Think about that. The brother was a part of the fraternity and he never got the love he deserved. Because of the circumstances, Dr. Boucher was not the first African American elected to the Phi Beta Kappa, as in many accounts belong. It was actually George Washington Emerson. But don't forget, he was among the first future members that actually happened and earned his PhD in physics, and a sixth to earn a PhD in physics from Yale. The brother was a genius. Let's dive into his background. Dr. Boucher was born in New Haven, Connecticut, to his parents, William Francis Boucher and Susie Boucher, in 1852. His father had been brought to New Haven, Connecticut from Charleston, South Carolina, as an enslaved valet on the young plantation of a Yale student. His history was his parents were formerly enslaved that earned their right. William Francis was an emancipated slave owner and later graduated from Yale. He then worked on to become a janitor and later a portier at Yale and served as a deacon at the Street Temple Church, the oldest Black church in the city. Edward's mother took in laundry to Yale students. He was the youngest of 4 children, only men. 2 of his sisters were Fanny Boucher Turner and George Boucher. During the 1850s and 1860s, there were only 3 schools in New Haven, Connecticut that accepted Black children. Don't forget, the United States was still under Jim Crow, segregation, and racism. Even in the North, y'all, they call it integrated, but there was no love for colored folk. Dr. Boucher was enrolled in an artistic street colored school, which he only had one teacher, Sarah Wilson. She nurtured Dr. Boucher's academic abilities and aspiration. He attended New Haven High School from 1866 to 1868, and then Hopkins School from 1868 to 1870, where he was named the valedictorian. Word of Boucher's talents reached Philadelphia, and Alfred Coop from the Society of Friends and the Institute of Colored Youth wanted Boucher to come down here and finish his studies. Paid for his time at Yale and other fellowship partner, Boucher ranked 6th in his class at the graduate from Yale. Boucher, Dr. Steeker, was measuring on a reflection of indigo of various glasses. After earning his PhD, he was unable to find a university to teach at and reach his position due to the racial discrimination. Remember that. Racism was still going on. Even though he was brilliant, working past his time, did what he had to do, he still found no love and he had to relocate. He moved to Philadelphia in 1878 and took a position as the Institute for Colored Youth, now chair at University of Pennsylvania, where he taught physics and chemistry for the next 26 years. He resigned from that position in 1902 at the height of the W.E.B. Du Bois Booker T controversy over the need for industry versus collegiate education for Black youth. An all-new white-collar board preferred institutional education eliminated the institution college education program. Dr. Boucher spent the next 14 years holding a variety of jobs around the country. Between 1905 and 1908, he was director of academics at St. Paul's Normal Industry School in Lawrenceville, Virginia, better known as St. Paul. He was a principal, a teacher at Lincoln High School, and did whatever he could to provide his family until they forced him to retire. Upon retirement, Dr. Boucher moved back to New Haven, where he died there in his childhood home at the age of 94 on Bradley Street. After a 6-week illness, they called his high blood pressure to size. Dr. Boucher was dedicated his life to work. He never married and he never had children. He was buried in an unmarked grave in a New Evergreen Cemetery in 1988. Yale facility placed a headstone on their first ever doctoral student. The American Physics Association wanted to give Dr. Boche a ranking outstanding physics, and his contributions to the physics field. He never got the love and the admiration that he deserved in his lifetime. He never got to get the just due to the heart of racism and Jim Crow going around. Just imagine how much his brother would have succeeded under different circumstances and under a different life. A PhD, a Yale graduate, a physicist, and a professor who had to live his life in a different lifestyle due to Jim Crow, segregation, and racism. It's a tragedy how he grew up, but it was also a success story on how he overcame and did what he needed to do. Dr. Boche, legend, an icon, somebody that must be studied, who overcame racism and did whatever he needed to do to thrive and succeed in the stories. It's your boy, King Crowder, back again with another edition of History You May Not Know and Things That Are Not Taught in Detail for Show. I wanted to come to you with another lesson that was very important that I think we all must learn. We all must educate, and we all must learn from. Dr. Boche is a legacy, even though his life was somewhat a tragedy as he lived. But I wanted to break down his lessons and what he had to do over the next 20 years. If you did not know about the gentleman, please make sure you comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. And if you're from the great state of Connecticut, these are one of your founding stories about this brother. Until next time, I'm checking out. Peace.